Content warning. This video discusses death and related themes. If you have self-destructive thoughts, you might not want to watch it now. Otherwise, I hope this video will motivate you and help you realize what you want to accomplish in life and help you reach something unimaginably high in your life. Death. One of the biggest questions in life is how it ends. When will I die? How will it happen? Will it hurt? And why do I have to die? Why me? Once, in the midst of shopping, I was hit by a sudden, unexplained realization that I will die. The realization was strong, oppressive, and extremely agonizing. I would die, and there'd be nothing I could do about it. I spent a solitary evening crying about my forthcoming death. With the realization came another. I wasn't unique. I wasn't worth anything. I would just die like everyone else, just a grain of salt in the sea. Would it really be so? Would it have to be so, or could I find some way to affect things? Like a prehistoric cave painting, could I find a way to press my hand in a stone and preserve the mark? It is said that what people seek in religions is the answer to what comes after death. That people need religion to comfort themselves. All doesn't end at death. Well, for me, my pagan worldview hasn't had that function. Neither has witchcraft, which actually isn't a religion. My reason for being a witch or a pagan does not include trying to find comfort in thoughts of an afterlife. And I have never been able to find certainty in what lies in store for us after death. And this kind of uncertainty is just frightening. Normally I fought against these types of thoughts, ran towards the unknown, and just truly embraced it. Maybe that contrast with actually fearing death has made the fear that much worse. The fear has been so contrary to my typical rebellious nature and thus formed an inner conflict. And the uncertainty isn't the only source of fear. Nothingness and the lack of continuity add to it. The thought of being hurt and then fading into nothingness. When you at first build your life for years, developing yourself and your soul and your mind, just wiping the slate clean and into nothingness feels absolutely absurd. And we may have these amused thoughts that when we are no more, we cannot care anymore about it. And still, we invest so much on things in life, just to realize at some point that we have been buried into the same ground as everyone else. The way I'll die also worries me. I'd want to just sleep peacefully away when the alternatives have included, well, for example, burning at the stake or something. But just the fact that pain is often associated with death feels oppressive. My father died recently. You think you're prepared to hear about death and to deal with it. Well, I thought I was, at least, after thinking about death so much and from so many angles. But the truth is that nothing could have prepared me for such a sudden loss of someone so close to me. My fear of death was dragged into the open and shoved down my throat. Yeah, I got answers to some questions, at least, such as, what does a dead person look like? What do they smell like? Are you allowed to touch them one last time? I have been told that seeing the body helps us understand that the dead person has gone, that they are no longer with us. But no, didn't work that way for me. On the contrary, it emphasized that this body is nothing but a vase and definitely not all that there is. Breeding cockatiels has taught me loads about death. I have been breeding birds for years and have raised at least 100 birds from their eggs. The earliest memories are fragments now, and at times I don't recall details without consulting my notes. Which baby bird was which, who owns each, the memories do blur. But those who died I remember. I remember each bird that died in my arms, each that has died in their nest, the birds that I have fought to keep alive, and those who have passed on in silence. I remember each adult bird who has died. I remember the full lives of each of those. And with the birds closest to me, their lives have got a whole new meaning after their death. There is no one way a life ends. For each of us, the lives we have lived and the things we have done affect our end. Everything is energy, and energy is everywhere. Sometimes some of our energy remains in a changed form when our journey ends. Think of the feeling you have when you enter a room in which everyone hates you. You sense it and you feel it. Take that energy and raise it to a level that could originate from you being burned inside a bronze bowl, or being buried alive, or tragically taking your own life in a storm of emotions. In such cases, could some anomalies remain? Energy disruptions in which the energies flow slightly differently than normally, like ball lightning. They exist, but they are rare. So rare that their very existence was in question until recently, and we still don't know the exact mechanism of their birth. Ball lightning, that my father told me about. But it was his death that gave ball lightning signification in my life. And for me, only his death associated ball lightning with my father. Death is, for those left alive, a horrible learning experience. It's an experience that forces you to learn as a human being. In death, spirit learns about the body, the sister learns to understand the brother about their mother, and the mother about her children, and all about their feelings and existence. It's like watching yourself in the mirror, seeing your identity, and someone smashing the mirror. Then you need to pick up the pieces of the mirror while they wound your fingers. And even if you collect all the pieces, that mirror will stay broken. In that situation, you can only survive, patch your wounds, and adapt to the situation, or be destroyed. In death, the force and power of a human being is unimaginably high, whether you want it or not. Thus, death doesn't efface your uniqueness. It is what makes everyone unique in the end. And there are no two identical deaths with same lives, emotions, and loved ones. Death is the sum of what you have been, and it is your last great deed on earth. Where your energy goes after that, I have no answer. Neither I should have one. Maybe it slowly dissipates in the ground, goes to an afterlife, or maybe you leave something unfinished and you remain here, like ball lightning, while you'll see glimpses of your distorted view from another dimension, looping your life again and again. Who knows? I'm not saying death is a happy thing. It might occur, and unfortunately often does, at the wrong moment, and be tragic. There's rarely a good time for it. Of course, sometimes death is a relief after a long period of pain, and a prolonged death may become your loved one's burden to carry. Death is like a cold path under your feet, a path you have to walk, even when the only thing we see at the end of the path is dense fog. But on the higher level, when we speak of the concept of death, when you start your path to the next dimension, it is a unique thing. The great pain and suffering you may experience is just a minor thing compared to the uniqueness of death. It will be if it will, and if not, then not. It's that simple. What matters is how you have lived your life and how you meet this transition. Death is just like rebirth. Like birth, but as a more developed version. There are no two identical people and no two identical deaths. In death, what matters the most is life. How have I lived? What solutions you have found for the questions in life? What will I fall for? Would I be somehow more recognized after I'm dead? Would any anything I've accomplished be remembered afterwards. These are the things each of us can affect. We are spirits learning about humanity, and each spirit can leave their mark upon the world. Each of us can affect what happens after our existence ends on the earth and all our choices are taken away from us. Before that, we can make our marks. We just forget too often that death can occur at any point, and thus you should live every day so that it matters. Every deed you do should be from the bottom of your heart and done with passion. Death is the moment when you'll get the answers for the great questions in life. It is the moment of great transformation, both physically and spiritually. You are made of stardust, you are made of energy, and now you'll give it for everyone else to benefit from and leave behind your legacy and everything that spans from it. It is your choice whether to mark the stone walls of existence with a painted mark of your hand. You decide. Your choices define the mark the greatest feat of your life leaves behind. Everything you do now has an impact on your future and eternity. You decide whether you deserve to become eternal.